What's up, everyone? Thanks for stopping by my channel, Esteemed Queen and Mentality. Be sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below so that way you get to know when I post all of my tea talks. I hope everyone is doing well, swell, thriving, and what? Surviving, child. I know I am. Speaking of surviving, is anyone else going through this heat? I really don't think summer's supposed to start until like, what, the 22nd? Child, thoughts and prayers out to everyone on the west side of the United States, especially in California. All that riffraff and everything is going on. But needless to say, here nor there, I am glad you found time to stop by. For all my new subscribers, thank you for joining. Hello. Make sure that you fill my cup so I can fill yours, okay? That means for you to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, as well as, you know, our returning subscribers. Y'all already know the drill, all right? You see the straw? You see the straw? You know what I'm about to say. Get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you sipping on. Get it and bring it close. So, we need to have a tea talk. And it's so funny how this tea talk came about. It's because, you know, sometimes, you know how I like to put things allegorically into perspective, okay? People, places, and things. Everything is a message for me. I think y'all know that already. So, this tea talk, I need to make sure I don't hit my table too much because I do not want y'all taking a tumble, okay? No, Charlotte. This tea talk is brought to you by my real life. And it's just so interesting because I just love how the concept just plays into how things, you know, are revealed. How things are just pretty much like just how they're set, you know. It is what it is. But we need to talk about it. So, not that long ago, I was just thinking to myself, I think I was just going back in my archive of things over the years that kind of have happened. And one thing I like to do in my head to make it so that I think about it and then I drop it off and it doesn't consume my mind anymore is people that along the way when they reveal themselves, screw what Maya Angelou says, excuse me. I mean, respectfully, that is true. At the same time, what about all those times where we do see false faces down the line? What is it we call it when, you know, things take a turn and they start irritating you? Now look, I have done a couple of videos on the same topic, okay? After this video, be my guest. You're in the house, go ahead, I'm more than generous with videos, okay? So after you watch this video, you might want to go back and watch the tea bag. You might want to go back and watch Little Red Riding Line, red flags, and meet the rashes. All right, all of those coincide with what we talking about today. It just so happens that this is a little bit more of a elevated concept of it. Now, mind you, like I said, what about the ones that, you know, we don't catch on to who they are until later, meaning that they have to slip up, the mask has to slip, the skirt, you know, I like to say, you know, don't let me catch you with your skirt up. That's my way of saying, you know, don't allow me to find and catch you slipping. So, with that being said, I had a friend, I had an associate, you know, pretty much, these damn birds. I know it's not in my fireplace because I closed it. They are, okay, they're probably the audience, okay, telling me to preach and keep on. But needless to say, came across someone that, of course, you know, when it comes down to it, and you know, people, places, and things, you gotta close a chapter to start a new one. You gotta learn a lesson to be able to start a new chapter. It's very interesting the crazy work of individuals that like stick their chest out after everything is said and done. You know, has that ever baffled you? How literally in their world of delusion, conscious and subconscious, it's a thing of, oh, you know, it didn't work out, but they have their chest out like they won some type of award. So, you know, me being me, I'm just like, yeah, you, okay. You think you got the big trophy, huh? The real one, not the bronze, not the silver, bitch. You think, excuse me, you believe, this bitch believes that they are gold. So I said, you know, I like to agree to disagree, but for the fact that this person is not a essential element in my life, what I'm about to say is, that's what made it even more funny to me. Because I was just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're gold. Plated, bitch. Get the fuck on. That brings us to today's tea talk. So I hope you caught all of that. Get your water, get your wine, get whatever it is that you're sipping on. Now, let's have this talk about gold plated and real gold. 14 karat, 16 karat, 18 karat, whatever the fuck it is, all those, right? And then we have gold plated. With real gold, you can go in a shower, you can drool on yourself in your sleep, you can sleep in it, all right? It may bend, but it's not gonna fold, and it's still gonna be there. Everything's still gonna be intact. Color, everything, right? Clamps, everything. You know, earrings, everything. Unfortunately, the downside is, even though we all like to look nice, even though we all like to be nice and play nice, it gets a little funny after a couple washes and a couple sleepovers in your bed where you know, it just didn't bother you. You know, it's like, hey, I'm gonna look good until it turns green. But hey, when it turns green, if I can catch it early, I can put some clear fingernail polish on it. And it is what it is. Excuse me real quick. Not right now recording a video. And I'm not editing this out, okay? Okay, so again, meet the rashes. Like, what the fuck? Like, when I first met you, you seemed to be straight up making it seem like you're at least minimum 14 karat. But then I come to find out your whole intention, your whole entire characteristic, morals, principles, whatever it is that you said to me to open the door of me believing you, to trust you, to care, to love, bitch, you're gold plated. You're gold plated. And the unfortunate part about this is we find out when it's what we assume is too late. In the higher power's words, it's never too late. He's always on time. But you got to catch the concept before he look at you and be like, do you understand the lesson? You feel me? So, you know, we can put gold plated and real gold into a concept of people, places, and things. And so, hey, it is what it is. Now, I went ahead and did the extra step and just double checked a couple of facts when it comes to gold plated. Now, you know, damn, leave me alone. They stay sending me shit for a girl, boy. You've been using that self, and next thing you know, they want to send you everything once your credit score go through the roof. I mean, everything. Everything. Okay? This video, by the way, is sponsored by Self. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, with my phone ringing off like this, child, this is what happens when your credit score goes up after you making consecutive on-time payments into a CD where you get that money back within a set term. So for you to continue to make on-time payments, for you to make sure that you use the budgeting tools to manage your money, this too can irritate you in real life. Now back to the episode. So I just went ahead and just, went the extra little mile or what may have you. And I looked up a couple of facts and pros and cons when it comes to gold and gold plated. Now, unfortunately, like I said, gold plated, it looks like, but it is not. And when time, with time, that thing starts to break down, become brittle. You scratching yourself to a point, people looking at you like if you tweaking or not. Or better yet, they just think like, damn, do you got fire ants on you? Like, what the fuck is going on? But it's just the fact of you finding this shit out so late, it irritates you. It irritates you, not to your soul, not to your spirit, but mentally it just agitates you because you thought you may have known better, or you may have been able to see it so that you can dodge that bullet, but you did in fact. So now you irritated, red flags, little red riding line. Now you're in a teabag situation where it doesn't get real until it gets hot. It don't get real until you're in that corner. It don't get real until you're out of excuses, procrastination, and outside options. No, like, no, you got to figure something out. And so, of course, this is what we do with jewelry over time. Either if it goes bad, right, we toss it, right? But then there's the other side of that where when we do get gold, right, some people melt it, some people pawn it. The concept is you get rid of it. And it's why, if you feel and if you know, and the money made it so, certificates made it so that you invested in something that's worthy of all that extra time, effort, and energy for you to obtain, sustain, and maintain, don't just give it up for anybody. And then the same thing goes for gold plated. Now look, when you find out that it's gold plated, I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, when I went to the clothing stores, they should put something on the tag to at least give you some type of context clue. Like, hold on, bitch, rainbow is not Zales. Okay? Now, it says cubic zirconia, excuse me. Had to pronounce I had to use all my teeth. All my chicklets, bitch, to say that. Cubic zirconia, okay? That should raise a flag. That should raise a flag. That should raise a flag. All right? Like, hold on. If it says nickel free, you need to look very closely. You feel me? You got to look very closely. When it comes to solid gold, of course, it goes through trials and tribulations. It goes through hot fluids. It goes through minerals to get to a form where it is, I don't want to say unbreakable, but it's invincible if we were to say it in spiritual terms or motivational terms. For instance, if you know yourself, you know to trust time and season. There's no need to be jealous. There's no need to compare yourself. There's no need for you to go outside of your comfort zone. Have you ever thought the comfort zone is to be a place where you're happy, you're safe, and you're stable? Sometimes, going from roller coaster to like jumping off of bridges, that's a little extreme. One of those is out of your comfort zone. Okay, I don't want to say you shouldn't want that type of like adrenaline rush from thrill. I just feel like you should have a zeal for life within, proximities where you feel comfortable. It's okay to try something different. But if you in the kiddie pool and then you decide to go to the beach and just run out there and you don't know Adam from Eve, grass from sand, a steep walk off underneath, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just throwing yourself out there. And a lot of times we say we can afford to have certain people around because they may help filter our energy to like double check us and make us self-aware. You can be self-aware without all of these distractions, all these gold-plated excuses and explanations. And more importantly, like I said, like, gold can it can fold, but like it can bend but it won't fold. So in life we really have to think a lot about that. You know, solid people, you will observe them more than you will be able to converse with them, and that is because they're all action. They're all action. They'll talk shit and catch up with you later. I see you when I see you. But when it comes down to getting things done and having to go through whatever they need to have the investment to be able to obtain, it is what it is. Like, those are solid people. Character, morals, principles. That gold plated is just enough to make you look good, look nice, you know, conceive you, deceive you. Oh, conceive you. Jesus. Whew, it is hot. Deceive you, manipulate you, and everything else in between. The thing is, though, is like, you gotta know the difference. You gotta know the difference. When you go shopping, be sure to look at the tag to make sure it says any type of number followed by a K. It should never have plated in the definition to describe it. All right. Anytime someone comes up to you and they're like, yeah, you know what a good example is, and I'm telling you what I know. A lot of people will tell you whatever, but I'm going to tell you this. Anybody that gets on the internet and flashes money, that's probably their last. They about to go out. They got to pay some bills. They got to pay some people off. Whatever the case may be. But needless to say, don't think what you see is what they have in surplus. That's gold plated. Because see, the one thing I don't want to ever be is robbed. Okay? Of my money, of my joy, of my space, and my peace. I don't want no one to rob me of it. So why on earth would you put it online? Because, bitch, you're gold plated. You're gold plated. And then you pull them up on Google Maps. Where are you living? Gold plated. Okay? A person who has money in those high calibers, child, you're going to see businesses, you're going to see them taking care of stuff. Hell, if they're taking care of stuff, you may not see them at all. They're going to go enjoy their money in peace. You seeming like you got to let everybody know you ain't got shit on layaway. No one cares. Stop trying to be important, okay? Gold-plated people. Know it before you go out there and pitch yourself to somebody. Because it's nothing worse than to you to get a strike straight off. And most people who are gold-plated, they don't get all their strikes until later. And them bitches add up. You only could get 3. Versus someone who takes their time and they breathe through the situation, do what they need to do and handle their business. It's less likely. Hand-eye coordination, you ain't gonna miss what you need to see. And you damn sure ain't gonna be deaf on the ears when it comes to what you need to know. Let alone eyesight. Either way you look at it, the Lord is gonna strike you down where you are gonna be able to identify the difference. Okay? So I need you to understand. You don't buy Zales jewelry in rainbow. You don't buy Zales jewelry, you know. Well, no, you can't go to Walmart. But I'm just saying, you don't see Walmart selling Rolexes. Think about this. Think about this. I've always been saying, wherever you meet people, that's where they're normally going to be at. So if you meet someone at the bar, y'all get the kiki and ha, and next thing you know, y'all yin and smitten, but yet they're always at the bar. That's where you met them. That's where you met them, fat. And hell, quiet as it's kept, he met you at a bar too. You meet them in a law library? I don't know. You can break someone's concentration in a law library, but you gotta have a lighthouse of a spirit for them to be able to drop a law book. You know how heavy them things is? And you get their attention. But guess what? Where you met them, 9 times out of 10, especially with the line of industry he trying to go into, that's where he gonna be at. That's where she gonna be at. You met them at random at the gas station. You see them walking down asking everybody, all the females, if they can pump their gas, and they say no. But then you haul off and see them back talk and be trashy to a female because she got her own and she can handle it. And then they finally migrate to your pump and ask you the same shit. What you gonna do? This person has already identified themselves to be gold plated. So unless you got one foot on the accelerator and you got one hand on the pump ready to put it up, don't nobody should be talking out the side of their neck to you. That's gold-plated behavior. So y'all tell me down below. My throat getting dry. Y'all tell me down below. What in your life have you found to be gold-plated? If your intentions are genuinely gold, who would you want to be your buyer's market? What would be the demographic, the audience that you will want to be attracted to? A lot of times, if we actually invest time to observe and understand where we feel we'll be happier as far as getting to learn and discover ourselves, if we're around people that give off that energy that it will motivate you to know more of who you are, that is way better than you getting something temporary that eventually down the line is going to throw you off. Whether it itches or it scratches, you don't want no type of distractions. So yeah, you're going to have people come across and come along in life. But again, it's up to you to discern. You know, sometimes it's okay to straddle the fence. Just don't move too much. That's where the observing comes in. So y'all let me know down below. By all means, make sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. Go ahead and fill my cup, and I will fill yours. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.